Social Impact Conversation podcast with myself, Unhlanhla Shabalala. Umfana kamshengi, lona-ke idonga likamavusi. Social Impact Conversation podcast is a platform where we speak to change makers making a community impact through advocacy, action, and effort. With today being the first ever episode of Social Impact Conversation podcast, my guest today has been a change maker for over a decade. What started as a seed planted in him to do good for Mandela Day led him to being a hero of his community of Eldorado Park. He is a South African of the Year nominee under the category of Community Developer of the Year. He is also a Nedbank local hero, 4 times nominee in 2019, 2020, 2021, and in 2024. Without wasting any time, please welcome my guest, Mr. Ensley. Change maker making real social impact, as well as changing lives where it matters most. This is Mr. Ensley Britoe from the Gail Britoe Foundation. My sir, how are you feeling today?
I'm very well. Thank you once again for allowing me to be a part of this project. I'm coming the very first. I'm humbled, I'm honored. I'm doing the good work.
Absolutely. So in line with that, so what we do here at the Social Impact Conversation podcast, we use the rainbow analogy. So you let us know, out of these colors, what are you feeling? Which color most represents the way you are feeling today? Blue. So you're definitely. Right. So we'll just definitely check what the color blue says with regards to change makers. So it says blue stands for integrity, trust, as well as voice. So for change makers, blue stands for truth, accountability, and advocacy, speaking truth to power, listening to community voices, building credibility through transparency, and change is impossible without trust and honest dialogue.
That is Ensley Britoe.
That is accurate. Right, nice one. Before we actually then get into today's conversation, obviously the viewers would like to know who is Ensley Britoe, and just give us, man, where you're from. Who was Ensley Britoe before starting this work of making change in our communities?
Right, Ensley Britoe is a very humble person, brought up by a single parent, myself and my sister. My late mom, who suffered nervous breakdown, mentally, being in and out of mental institute.
Sure.
Most of our lives upbringing. From the age of 7, I'm 48 this year, so
yeah.
My whole life my upbringing has been like a roller coaster, because we had to live at different family members when my mom was sick. But the fact that she was a praying woman that helped us, and for us believing in God, in Christ.
Yeah, sure.
He's my fellow. I will always put God first in whatever decisions I take.
Nice one, because what you just said, introducing obviously your childhood, it's like what is happening in most communities, especially in us, people of color. But obviously then here you are, 48, you're still a young lad.
I am still very young, a long way to go.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wouldn't have passed 48 within a day with you. I thought maybe around the 30s, but well,
Thank you. I like it.
Right, so let's get into obviously the social impact conversation. It's where we share stories that shape our community. So I want us to start with the journey. Why you chose this kind of work?
Alright, it started with my late mom, my great mom. She was the most generous, kind-hearted, giving. She used to give out last. So something which I saw growing up with my mom.
Yeah.
So when she passed away 13 years ago, I decided to do something for Mandela Day. Doing something for 67
minutes. 67 minutes.
So that's the day where I realized that the need is extremely big. And that's where it all started. Myself just giving back to the community and fell in love with it. I was still employed as an IT specialist in something. I gave it up. I gave it all up to what I'm doing. I'm taking care of my community, and it's so fulfilling. I wouldn't choose to do anything else. I am happy with it.
Nice. So you had to leave obviously a corporate job, like most of us that leave actually corporate jobs, and then get into a space where you now align with the calling, what you've been called for.
It has to be a calling. If it's not a calling, it will die.
It'll definitely die. If it's not a calling, it'll definitely die. So let's get into, obviously now I get the background that you started the foundation after you lost your mom. May her soul continue resting in peace and give you the power and the strength. So then 13 years ago, the Gail Britoe Foundation is born. Tell us more about the Gail Britoe Foundation.
So the Gail Britoe Foundation started off as just a normal feeding scheme, wanting to feed. This way I was still working in feeding, being off days on a Wednesday only for feeding scheme, and I saw the need is much more bigger than feeding. So what we are currently doing, we have a whole list of projects actually starting in January, where we leave stationery. We currently busy with our Easter egg drives, winter's coming with blanket drives. So we've been doing a whole lot, anything and everything that we do with on the uplifting help our community. That's where we at.
But what were the community challenges that you were actually facing and seeing that actually led you to obviously introducing these different programs?
Poverty in our community is extremely high, and one of the reasons which is it's as high as it is substance abuse in our community.
Yeah, true.
Biggest challenge, one of our biggest challenges. So that's one of the reasons. The most important is the poverty and the drug substance in our communities. Let us say, we can't just leave it, hence our children are suffering because of the neglect of their parents. What's happening in my community, I don't know if it's everywhere. The parents have that tendency of dumping their children at the grandparents. So the grandparents have to bring up those children with
little to none resources.
Yeah. So I saw it something that we need to do, because we can't allow our children to suffer, because they are the leaders of our country.
Sure.
They are our future.
Yeah, and you know one thing you just said, speaking about substance abuse especially, communities like Eldorado Park, it is known that it's the infamous Eldorado Park. There is drugs, there's drug gangs, there's gangsterism. How did you then try and paint a new picture? Or how are you trying to paint a new picture?
For me, becoming an SA nominee, I had to get involved in all projects, starting from the local community.
Sure.
And then the CPF, Community Policing Forum.
Sure.
But all of these things happening, people started disappearing, so I had to become a part of the missing persons.
Sure.
Find missing persons. This is
Sure.
all under one of them. Because of the substance in our community, people decided, or not decided, they become so addictive where they, they forget where they live, and then they go and report them missing, and then it's a big challenge. It's a challenge which we know God will. It's only by God that will be able to help us to it.
Sure. Because with what I'm getting from what you're giving me is that also in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So not only are you dealing with part of those goals, I heard you speak about poverty. Obviously that is like we speak about the Sustainable Development Goal 1, which is no poverty, and we're also speaking about Sustainable Development 2, Goal 2, which is zero hunger. But now you see that you can't focus only on those two things. There's things like substance abuse. So how are you aligning with the Sustainable Development Goals that have been set by obviously the United Nations? Is it something that you want to align with, or you bring projects as you see the need in the community?
For us, we bring projects as we see, because we love, we breathe, we are the community.
Absolutely.
So we do what's best for us. We can't go with the script, because those people who have written down those scripts are not the ones interacting with the people on the ground. So we do what we know it will grow our community.
Sure. Right, and some of the, obviously I know that we always have challenges, but let's speak about some of the successes that, the Gail Britoe Foundation has actually done and, you've experienced. I mean, 13 years is, 13 years and not getting a salary, guys.
Yeah,
that is something else. That is something else.
It's been a beautiful journey. Most of it was, those were the most beautiful years of my life.
Sure.
It was not a matter of wanting to gain anything, get some money. No, there is no money in everything.
Yeah. I always say it's hard work.
The most beautiful part is having to distribute non-perishable food parcels to people in need.
Sure.
You know that granny walks for about 5 Ks, others walk 10 Ks to come and get those. A food parcel.
Yeah.
But the fact that the gratitude in that elderly person's eyes, the tears of joy, gratitude, that makes it more
fulfilling.
Exactly, fulfilling. And giving the small child, there were days where I went home where there was nothing to eat.
Yeah.
And then I'll go I have to eat at friends. Because of pride, I would sometimes just go home and, go to sleep. Yeah. Because as a boy, you do not want to go and ask food from friends or neighbors.
Yeah.
So I'll go home and then, one thing for sure, I never wanted to eat knowing my mom doing her food at home.
Sure.
So that helped. And then I started washing cars in the community. Washing the cars, it was 15 days way back, and then 15 days now, I'll give it to my mom. I don't know how parents know how to work with money.
Absolutely,
They know how to work. You give her 115 rand, 15 rand, you'll see that you have a meal for the whole day.
For the whole day, that is true.
You come with the second one, the whole week will eat with it.
Absolutely. That's why they always say empower a woman and then you empower women.
And then there was also another uncle who used to sell handkerchiefs.
Yeah.
I used to walk around the whole community of Eldorado Park selling handkerchiefs. And then whatever 5 rand, 3 rand, 50 I got, I'll take it home, set your house. And then that's where I saw that the need in my house is big. So that's where I decided to go and look for a job. I went to Marco. I knocked on the door. I started off as those guys standing on the corner. Who lie here account?
Yeah,
yes. So I opened accounts on the corner of Marco, Milof and Picture and made a lot of money. They said, no, we need you in the store.
Nice.
For myself, that was any young man's dream to wear a nice tie, formal outfit every day or whenever going to work. So that was part of my goal. That's where it started, working at Markham, knowing you'll be able to take money home and take care of the family.
That no matter what the background is, you can definitely make it as long as you have determination, resilience, and always put in the hard work. Let's speak about the success stories that Gail Britoe Foundation has actually had.
Wow, there's a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I grew up in a flat where there was no table. We used to stand at the sink and doing homework.
Sure.
So for myself, becoming a Nedbank local hero, I had the opportunity to get a sponsor for us. I know a lot of children in our communities are standing at the sink and doing homework.
Sure, right now.
So we got a container where we have a roof with benches where our children can do their homework.
Nice.
On a regular basis, which happens daily.
Sure.
We got a kitchen from Old Richard and Shore where I used to cook in my flat.
Yeah.
I would cook everything at the foundation.
Nice. Growth?
We never had an office and storage because everything that came to our, which was donated, everything was being donated.
Absolutely.
We had to pick it up in my small bachelor flat kitchen or in the passage or something. So all our achievements are what we call success. Being a Nedbank local hero, we got a mini park, a homework center, we got a laptop,
Nice.
Education is the key to success.
Absolutely, definitely, never
so
doubt that.
As I said earlier, I never grew up knowing how to work on a computer.
Yes.
So now our children are having that just get a foundation where they can work on a computer or laptop and have free Wi-Fi.
Nice.
So things are looking very positive. I'm actually extremely positive because of what we expecting coming from our foundation in the new this year. We are working on having a food bank.
Amazing thing. Yeah.
Kitabo Givers are one of our best partners.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm working very close with them and I appreciate them. I love what they do. So
yes.
We see ourselves being not for the Eldorado Park, but the need is there.
Absolutely. The need is national, it's actually international, it's global. It's a global thing.
It's a global thing and we're going to be doing all of those very soon. I know God knows my heart.
Nice. I always say that, like I said earlier, it's hard work, not hard work. But also what you touched on is obviously the sponsors that come on board that have actually been part of the success stories, right? But let's get now to speak about policies and speak about government entities. You know what I'm saying? How is that relation? Sometimes I know that with government, it feels far-fetched. but we are actually doing one thing, you know, because I believe that NPOs, change makers, they actually work for the nation, you know what I'm saying? So what is your take on how the policies are set up, especially for organizations on the ground? Because literally, Gail Britoe Foundation is on the ground in the community of Eldorado Park.
Myself personally, the government has not really been a part of us, not myself, but most of our local NPOs, NGOs in our community.
Sure.
So for myself and the Gail Britoe Foundation, we are quite fortunate to get private businesses like Chelsea or Nedbank, your own mutual insurer. Local businesses like our local shops, which is we have a few people who are full-time, and then we have people who are seasonal.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, we are extremely fortunate because for the past 13 years, we have never missed a feeding day.
Sure.
Without the foundation being funded, we had all our projects are success right through the year. And that's it. We just very blessed.
You keep going. So yeah, but I think it's also about time that government, policymakers, they start actually coming on the ground and making sure that they know what is happening around local NPOs. So with that being said, this is actually what I wanted to talk about next. Lesson learned, you know, the mistakes that we do as NPOs on the ground, and maybe what can future change makers implement.
So lessons learned, there was so much lessons I've learned. You know, the fact that it's not funded, you'll always have people wanting to come and invest and reach themselves by using the poor people.
Sure.
I've had a lot of guys trying to come and launder money saying they want to invest, but in fact they want to enrich themselves.
Yeah.
So that's the one biggest lesson. If I wanted to be a rich person, if I did this to become a rich person, then I was going to stay in my job.
Absolutely.
Where in IT, I would have been there. This is not me wanting to be rich. The saddest part is the fact that they come to our local organizations in our community, and not everybody is
that way.
Yeah, the other people you find.
And obviously, there is young people are inspired about the work that you do, who would actually want to step into the shoes that you are currently in. So what advice would you give future change makers, or even if it's an adult in the community and they say, you know what, I would like to make a difference within my community? So what advice would you have for future change makers or change makers currently on the ground?
I would say it's not impossible. I always tell my youngsters at the foundation, in my community, you can be the change you want to see.
Yes.
It depends with you. So for myself, I'm always available. I know people like yourself.
Yes.
Find yourself a role model. Find yourself somebody, a mentor. Because you can't do anything on your own. Go out first, you get yourself a mentor, and then you just get guidance from that mentor you ever decide and you trust. Everybody is pure-hearted.
Absolutely.
So you have to find someone who you really trust, pure-hearted. Yeah, you can be the change you want to see. In life, we must stop asking, let's just be the change we want to see.
Absolutely. So like you said earlier on that God created us to be creators.
Leaders. God never created followers. He created leaders. In each and every one of us, there is a leader. You might not be at the same level, but there is a leader. You just need to put in what kind of way, what is suitable for you, what are your callings? What are your callings? Some people have few callings. I know I still do my IT.
Yeah.
My passion is my kids, my community.
Yeah.
You can have a few different things, and as time goes on, you just settle down and say, okay, this is where I want to start. Now I am done where I'm supposed to be. This is where God wants me to be.
Absolutely. It's like, you know, it just reminded me of a verse in the Bible that, you know, there were different men that God gave different talents. The one got one, the other got three, and the other one I think got five.
Yeah.
And then, but the one who had five actually buried the four and just used one. Yes, but then the one who had the only one gift actually multiplied those. So, you know, it is definitely impossible for you to actually be the change that you definitely want to see. And then lastly also, well, before I say lastly, what is the vision for the future for yourself as a change maker as well as for the Gail Britoe Foundation?
For myself, it's just creating leaders. One thing I would love to see there are more leaders in our communities.
Yes.
Our biggest challenge is the fact that we have too many absent fathers in our communities.
Yes.
So fathers need to step up and lead up with men that God has created in God has told the father for us that we would love to be out. Myself, I would love to be the father that God is to me. So I'm trying my utmost best. I'm grateful for the fact that a lot of youngsters in my community look at me as a role model.
Yes.
Somebody which they come and tell me, Uncle Enz, one day when I'm free, I will do what you do. I want to be a part of it. How do I become? So if they want to be a part of what you do, it means you are doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
And the fact that I'm having children coming from the foundation who are teachers, sign language teachers, private schools, au pairs.
Nice.
I have a attorney that came from the foundation. So as long as we are having people growing where we busy work, it's an achievement. That's the main aim of doing what we're doing.
That's absolutely brilliant. And also just seeing those who started with you actually succeeding in life, it shows that the foundation's work is definitely something that is needed. All right. And do you have any maybe future goals for the Gail Britoe Foundation?
No, I would love for us to be the food hub for people in need in South Africa. And South Africa and Africa right around the world, that would be the most beautiful. I always make an example of Kids for the Kids.
Yes.
Our most faithful partner for over 11 or 12 years.
Sure.
The work those people does is so amazing. It's inspiring. I want to be able to do what they are doing with them.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
never going to be a competition.
Absolutely.
Like the other day it was in Mpumalanga where there were floods.
Yes.
Down there doing such beautiful work. That's why my prayer, God, please bless us to go down and be a part of that. Grow together with people who, very important, your circle.
Yes. Yes.
If you want to grow in life, you can't sit with people who don't have a mindset of growing.
True.
So for us, wanting to be a part of Gift of Givers, it shows that we are wanting to grow and do more.
Want to do more, definitely. Still in conversations with change makers, and you know, man, these are stories that shape our communities. And you know, as we are speaking, I'm getting more inspired and more inspired. But I'm sure our viewers as well want to actually know how they can be able to get involved and support you as well as the Gail Britoe Foundation.
It would be amazing. We really do need support from the South Africa. So now we have all our information on our page, which is the Gail Britoe Foundation. We have our year plans of sponsors. You can go through it and see which of our year plan programs
Aligns with them. Yes, true. All right. So I think, man, also as before we close, you know, do you have some final words that you would like to share with our viewers?
Final words would be like, you know what? With God there's always, with God all things are possible. So guys, please just keep on believing in God, keep your trust and faith in God. He will lead you to where you're supposed to be. He will guide you to it. One thing I always tell my children, God will never allow you to happen in our lives if we know He's not going to carry you through it. Our challenges are there to let us grow. So whatever you guys might be facing in life, don't look at it as something that's going to break you, as something that's God is preparing you for the bigger, how do we say, a bigger future of your life.
Yes.
We are just falling. Don't give up. God, like our youngsters will say, God's got your back. He is in the lead of your life. So
make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment on this show. Till we meet again.